So as Linda said, I just want to take a few minutes to introduce the impact assessment report that we commission annually, and we received the latest version of 2 weeks ago. It's a long document, so obviously I'm not going to take you through everything. I'm just going to pull out some of the highlights, some of the key insights that we've been able to gather from this particular report. I don't think I need to explain really what the SGA is. You've all made it here, so I guess you know who we are and what we do. But just for those who may have stumbled across us maybe yesterday, we set up in 2020 as a partnership between the Chartered Governance Institute and all of the sports councils to support, develop, upskill and connect people working in governance roles broadly defined across the sector. With the is built around 3 pillars, one of knowledge, one of learning and one of community. Those are the strands that we focus our efforts on, with the ultimate aim of demystifying governance, taking the mystery out of it and making people more able to take skills and confidence, which is a key word actually, confidence, that I'll come back to shortly, take that back into their organisations and implement sound governance practices. The way the impact assessment works is that we want to understand across 3 strata. One is individuals, their confidence, their skills, their experience, their knowledge that they're able to use in order to do their particular role. How they then are able to take it into their own organisations, into their works and affect better governance practices there. And then what that aggregates to across the sector as a whole. So what the standard of governance across the sector is in its current state. So that's what we've assessed, and this is where we are in terms of the numbers. So we currently have around 2,500 people who have accessed the SGA over its lifetime. Now that could be at a bare minimum of registering with the website in order to access our online content, but it's also people who've attended our training, our webinars, days like today, days like yesterday, so all the events that we put on. So anyway, the first port of call is a website, and we've had around 40,000 people access the website, including 16,000 visitors since this time last year when I did the last impact assessment. Though the 2,500 people are drawn from over 106 individual sports and multi-sports on top of that. I think if you sit down and try and name 106 sports, I think you might run out of steam at some point. I certainly did. I was trying to figure out if that's an impressive number or not. And when I decided I couldn't name 106, and I thought it probably was. And then, as Linda mentioned, we are being accessed from 63 countries around the world. So that shows that, okay, we're here to develop the UK sector, and events like today and our training courses are aimed squarely at the UK sector. But there are other people around the world and also other people in other sectors who value what we're doing, who see this as a model, as something worth tapping into. So that's really, really pleasing to see. Now, the sort of second main area of contact that the people will have with the SGA is around our training offering. And we are currently at 54 courses delivered. And that encompasses, I thought we were going to hit the 1,000 attendee mark this year. I think we're going to fall just shy of that. We're going to be 900 and almost 1,000 by the end of the year. So early in the next year, we'll reach that milestone. And that is around 600 plus people. So obviously people attend multiple courses. So we've had around just over 600 people come through our training. And you'll see from the chart there that the bulk of that, or at least 3/4 of that, is around our skills-based, or knowledge-based rather, training offering. And I'm sure everyone's going to be delighted to see Roland in the room, because so many people have come into contact with Roland during the life of the SGA that I think it's only right that you get to meet the man in person today. And the other quarter of what we offer is around our skills-based courses. So what we're trying to do is do more and more of everything to meet demand. So we're trying to put on more of our courses each year, and you'll see just how many additional courses we've put on this year. And we're also trying to do it in different formats. So the sort of bulk of our training is still delivered virtually, because that reduces a lot of barriers to accessibility. But we're also looking at doing more in-person events for the reasons like you're going to experience today, that those side conversations and those little connections that you make in a physical setting really add to the experience. So we're going to do more of those. And we're also going to try and do some hybrid, where Components of the course are online, components are in person. The other thing that we tried to do is to do some evening training, because we understand that this is a sector very dependent on volunteers, very busy lives outside of the commitment that they give to sport. So we're also trying to look after them as well. So we're looking at the different models that we're trying to deliver our training in so that it really meets the needs of the sector. We had an additional course this year, our advanced minute-taking course, I should say. Really well received, so I think we can expect to see that again next year. And we've also got a couple of other new training courses that development is in the pipeline, so look out for those early next year. The other thing that we're trying to do is do more of the things that we already do. And a good example of this is our bursary scheme for the Certificate in Sports Governance. And I suppose the first thing I should do is congratulate the cohort that finished earlier this year. So we had around 24 people, I think, in the cohort. And as you can see from the screen there, we are a very high percentage of students in that top sort of bracket of passes. It compares extremely favourably with the other sector qualifications in the Institute, which shows that maybe this sector's got something about it. And in addition to that, we've also got 3 more students who are going to take their assessment later this month, so the best of luck to them. So we offered, like I say, I think it was 24 bursary places this year, but we had a little look at the best way to deliver it, because we were previously doing it the full certificate and also individual modules. We looked at the uptake, we looked at the appetite, and we spoke to the stakeholders, and we thought the best use we can make of the funding that we have available is to try and get as many people through the full certificate as we can. So we decided to switch tack and focus just on that full certificate, and as a result of which, we've now got 41 people on the current cohort who started their studies last month. Another area where we're trying to do more of the same is in our board development fund offering. And so over the course of the last year, we've doubled the number of organisations that we deliver bespoke training to. And as a consequence of that, we've tripled the number of people who have gone through that training. So again, trying to get more impact through the services and the offerings that we already have. And you've probably noticed during the course of this year, he's sort of squeezing his way through there, but some of the brilliant work that Sam's been doing this year to help support people through the various application processes that we have for our offerings. So that could be through workshops and drop-in sessions, could be through developing guidance on using AI in applications, or having phone interviews where a written application form is perhaps a barrier for some people. So we're trying to make everything that we do as accessible as we can to everybody who's in our community. So what does that mean in terms of impact? Well, I'm pleased to say that 87% of people who responded to the impact assessment say that the SGA is meeting their governance needs, and a similar number saying that they feel better able to support governance and respond to governance issues in their organisations. Now, that could be a variety of ways. It could, of course, be acquiring new knowledge, but equally, and I think this is an important theme that comes through the impact assessment, is that sometimes it's just reaffirming knowledge that people already have. It's about giving them confidence. People are telling us that they're feeling as though they have a voice. That going through the training and the development that we offer enables them to feel empowered to then go to their boards and advise their boards, to challenge legacy behaviours, and to apply good governance principles to real-world decisions. And this is my favourite stat in the report, I think. So of all those people who are motivated by the sort of professional development of themselves, which I think probably accounts for most people, 98% say that we're meeting their needs very well, or a lot. So that's obviously a really pleasing stat for us. So how does that translate into the organisational level? Well, again, around 3/4 of people say that the SGA has improved their decision-making within their organisations. Now, that could be through better board practices, through clearer agendas, through healthier oversight cultures. And also something else that came through was something around the SGA helping people to implement stronger structures, especially during periods of change, which I thought was quite an interesting observation. And what we're finding is that people are beginning to reframe the governance conversation. So I quite like this quote that came through on the impact assessment, and that was that the more people who are from an organisation who attend our courses, the more common that language and understanding around governance is, the easier those conversations become. Now, I'm sure you've all had difficult governance conversations in your organization. So I would say the best way to maybe counter that is to get some of your colleagues to engage with us, and we can hopefully help them speak the same language as you. You're here, you're the engaged ones. It's the other people that we need to reach. So if you can speak to your colleagues and recommend us, put us engaging with us on your induction packs, in your CPD for your colleagues, I think that would really help ourselves, obviously, but should also help the conversations that you're having within your organizations. And then I just thought I'd include this because it's a really nice quote from one of the case studies that we had. That's to say, the SGA has been an absolute godsend to a newly developing NGB. If we didn't have the SGA, I don't know how we would have done it. So thank you to the contributor who said that about us. So at the sector level, again, we're talking high numbers. I'm quite pleased about this. 83% say that the SGA is meeting the needs of the sector well or very well. And I also like this quote. So the conference, so you're all here today, the conference made the niche feel mainstream. Now, if I was feeling particularly mischievous or uncharitable, I said what we've done is we've provided a home for the slightly odd people who are overly concerned with governance. And to those people, and I number you all among them, I would say, I would number myself among them as well. I would say, this is your home. We're like you. You're welcome here. So but it's also nice that this is where, what was a niche conversation is becoming more mainstream, because we do want to affect that cultural change within organizations, within the sector. And so maybe we're going somewhere towards achieving that. But this is my least favorite stat in the whole impact assessment. I mean, it's not a disastrously low number, but I don't like it because it's not in the 80s. And I can see Lucy chuckling in front of me, but I couldn't be relentlessly upbeat for 15 minutes. That's not in my constitution. So this is the one that I want your help with for the time being. Okay, we can see from today, from yesterday, that people value the connections that they make through networking and through interacting with one another. So let's do more of it. We're going to do more events. Tell us what you want from those events, how we can make them work for you, and we'll do our best to implement them. But also what you can also do in the meantime is get involved in the online governance community support forum. So get on there. I'm going to leave that QR code up. Like I say, we're going out to around 400 people today. So if by the end of today we don't have at least 50 new signups to the huddle, I'm going to be disappointed. And that won't really register like here. Like, you won't know that I'm disappointed, just like you don't know how happy I am about some of those numbers. But I'd like you to get up there and get involved, because it's there for you and it's a really good resource. Share ideas, ask questions, answer questions, post vacancies, share documents. All of that is a really good resource if people want to use it. So please do get on there. And what I should say, although this is my least favorite stat, it was also buttressed by the fact that 70% of people say that they're more willing to help others within and outside their organization. So I do think this is a very connected sector and a very connected sort of function within the sector. So let's keep working at that and making people feel like they really are part of a community. And there are still challenges that remain. Some of these are specific to the SGA. Some of them are more generic across the sector. I think we all know the sorts of issues that we're talking about. We're making headway in terms of this compliance versus culture mindset. I think we all understand some of those key relationships within organizations. We could add exec, non-exec directors in there, for example, as a relationship that people are raising questions about. We know it's a time-constrained role that we're all in, and we're looking to work around that. I also understand that it's a very diverse sector in terms of organizational size, resource, complexity, all of that. So we're looking to address as many of those that we can do, and we're working very well with our partners. If you speak to Olivia from Continuum, you can talk about the work that we're doing together to make sure that the Buddle offering, the SGA, the Leading the Movement offering are dovetailed, and similarly with the Sport and Recreation Alliance. So that's pretty much what we have. I've got to get us back on track time-wise. But really, I just got a big thank you to all of these groups, because it's not often that we get in the same room together. but we have an amazingly supportive network behind us. The sports councils offer us not just financial support, but all sorts of other support as well. And I can't explain how important it is to us in terms of the delivery of the SGA. Similarly, the Chartered Governance Institute and all of my colleagues there. Everyone who contributes training-wise, speakers today, contributors, writers, authors, we owe you all a massive debt. We've got an amazing advisory group and an amazingly supportive programme board. But really, the big thanks go to you guys. The SGA is yours and you make it what it is. So please do keep engaging with us. Please do keep recommending it to others, and we can really take it forward. And I look forward to having an even better impact assessment to tell you about this time next year. So now on with the program itself, and we're going to move straight away into the boardroom. But that was never up, was it? I've got two screens and they're both moving at different paces. So these are all of the people that I would like to say thank you to.